Hello and welcome back. Now the very first thing I want to do is I want to give you the answer for the last class challenge. In the last class I had asked you to create 3 objects using primitives. So I will just click somewhere here. I have this cube. I will select the cube, press X and click delete. Now I will press shift plus A, and in the mesh the first object, the triangle, I am going to create using the cylinder. So when I click on the cylinder, you have the cylinder object here. Now in this cylinder object, I can come here, you have this add cylinder option. So in the add cylinders option, if you reduce the vertex levels, you can see the vertex level is changing. If I make it 3 and if I decrease the depth to around 0.5, see here now we got our first shape. This was the first shape I had asked to create in the previous class. Now I will just move it along the y axis. I am going to move it by 2 meters. The second object was a triangle with a polygonal shape. So for this, again I am going to press shift plus A, and this time I am going to add a torus. So regular torus will appear like this, but if I decrease the number of segments here, major segment, and if I bring down to 3, again this becomes a rectangle, and I will reduce the minor segments to around 5. So this was the second shape that we created in our previous, that you were asked to create it. And the third shape is to create a pyramid. So to create the pyramid, press shift plus A, and in mesh you add a cone. So once you add the cone, and even in cone, if you reduce the number of vertices here to 4, if I make the number of vertices here 4, I want to decrease the depth to 1. Okay, and then move it along gy minus 2. So these were the 3 objects that we were asked to create in the last class. So this completes our challenge, and the next challenge I want you to do is I want you to create a minion using only the primitives. So that let us explore it now. So for this purpose, I am going to start with a new file, and now again here I will select the cube, press X and delete it. Then I will press shift A, and the first object I am going to add is a cylinder. I will press 1 on my numpad and come to the front view, and I will open the add cylinder parameter, and here I want it to be very smooth. So I will make the number of vertices to 60. And then I will move it, let its depth be the same as 2 meters, and only thing is along the z axis I will move it little to the top. I will move it to by around 2 meters over here. So this is the first part we have created, and let us call this is called as cylinder, let us call this as body 1. So this is the body 1, and coming to materials here, let us give it a color. Click new here and call this material as yellow, and click on this base color and add an yellow material. So somewhat an yellow material like this. Okay. And once you add the material, you are not seeing the material because we are in solid view. If you come to viewport shading, now you can see the cylinder. Now my next job is I want to create my next object, that is I am going to add now a sphere. So again I will press shift plus A, and in mesh I am going to add a UV sphere, and again for this UV sphere I will increase the segment to 60 to make it look smooth. After this, along the z axis till it is on the top axis, that is I have to move it approximately by 3 meters, and after I move it by 3 meters I will give this also an yellow material. So we have added the top portion, and I will name this sphere as head. Okay. So after this, the next thing I want is the bottom base. So, for this I will select the cylinder. So, or what I will do is I will press shift A and I will add one more cylinder. Only thing is I will decrease its depth to 1 meter. All other parameters will be the same. I will press G and Z and move it to the top, and I will move it by around 0.5 meters. Okay. And for this I am going to give a new material, and I am going to call this material as blue, and I am going to attach a light blue material somewhat like this. Okay. Let us use this material. I have added this color, and then for the bottom portion I will also name this cylinder as the waist. So, I will give it the name as waist, and then again I will press shift plus A, and then I will create one more UV sphere now, and for this UV sphere I am going to add the blue material. Okay. And I am going, this is, and only thing is for this I am going to press scale, and along the Z axis I will scale it by 0.5. Okay. So, now we have, and I am going to name this as base. Okay. So, body 1, head, waist and base, we created 4 parts. So, after creating these 4 parts, the next thing we want to create is the eye. Now, what we shall now do is, for this entire collection, let us name this collection as body. Okay. And let us remove this camera and pull it out into this scene selection, so that it is out of this body selection. Select this light also, click and drag onto this scene selection, so that it comes out of the body selection. So, body 1, head, waist and base, these 4 are present in a set called as body. Now, after this, the next part we want to create is the eyes, and when I want to create the eyes, I want this body part to be hidden. So, I will just click on this tick here and I will hide the body. Now, I will press shift A, and again now I am going to add a cylinder. This time the number of vertices of the cylinder, let us keep it back to 32, and let us make its radius 0.3, and after this the depth even make it 0.2, depth I will make it 0.2, and along the x axis I will rotate it by 90 degree, and after rotating this by 90 degree, or I will even make the radius here 0.4. So, let us make it a little bigger. I have added the cylinder here. I am going to call this as eyelid. Okay. So, naming it as eyelid, then next I will press shift A, and in the mesh now I am going to add a UV sphere, and I will set the segments here to 32, and the radius I will set it to 0.2. Okay. Setting it to 0.2, I will now select this sphere, and I am going to name it as eyeballs. Okay. And then I will come to material, and I will create a new material, and I will call it as eyeballs, and for this I am going to add a kind of brown material like this, somewhat a brownish tint material. Okay. So, some brownish tint material like this. Say I have added this material, and for the background eyelid I will create a new material, and I will name this as white, and I will leave it as it is. After this, after adding this, I will press shift A, and in the mesh I am going to add one more UV sphere, and this UV sphere I will set its radius to around 0.1, and then I am going to call this as eye pupil, and I am going to give this a new material, and I am going to call this black, and in the color I will set its color to pitch black. However, you are not seeing it because it is at the center. So, if I click middle mouse and if I rotate it, this is present at the center. So, what I will now do it, I will press yes and along the y axis I will just scale it like this. I will scale it by y approximately by 2.5 units. So, now I have got this eye structure ready. Now, you can see here I have created eyeballs, eyelid and pupil. So, all these three apart from these three. So, for this I will come to the front, press shift A and in the mesh now I am going to add a torus and I am going to rotate this torus by 90 degree and then I will reduce its major radius to around to the radius of my this eyelid, that is 0.4. I make it 0.4 and I will decrease the minimum radius. See, you have the minimum radius 0.1. Okay, I will make it 0.1. Then for this I am going to add a new material and I will call it as steel, and in the base color I am going to select a gray tint like this, and only thing is I want it to be metallic. I will increase the metallic value and reduce the roughness so that it is shiny like this. Okay. So, we have added this structure and I will just select this torus top view, this torus I will just press yes and along the y axis I will scale it a little like this, so that it is around 1.5 scaled along the y axis. So, we have this frame here. So, this entire thing represents the eye of the minion. And now what I will do is I will come back to scene selection. I will create a new collection and I will name this as eyes. I will double click and I will first rename it as eye frame. Okay, I will name it as eye frame. So, now eyeballs with shift pressed eye frame, with shift pressed eyelid, with shift pressed eye pupil. I select all these four and drag it into this eyes collection. So, entire thing is now inside this eye set collection. Now, what I will do is I will select the body, then I will come to eyes, I will right click and choose the option here select objects. So, when I click on select objects, all the objects present inside this eye selection is selected. Now, I will press 7 and come to the top view and I will press G and along the y axis I will move it forward like this, and then I will press G and X and I will move it slightly to the side like this, and then I will press rotate and along the Z axis I will press Z and along the Z axis I will rotate it like this, and with G pressed I will just place it in a manner that it is popping out of the head, and then with middle mouse pressed if I rotate and see it, you are seeing it here, I will press 1 and in 1 I will press G and Z and move it to the top. So, this is one eye that we are seeing. Now, I want one more eye on the left hand side. So, for this I will select the entire eyes collection and I will right click it and I will choose duplicate collection. So, now this entire eye 001 is created. I will select it, right click and I will choose select objects. I will come to the top view and then press G and along the X I will move it to the left like this. Then I will press R and Z and along the Z axis I will rotate and adjust the angle, and then let us turn and see. Okay, this appears to be fine. I will press 1. So, these two are the eyes. If required, press press R and Z and just rotate it to adjust the angle. If required, come to top view and just R and Z and rotate the angle, and if required press G and move it. So, let us adjust the position, and once you are happy with the position, with middle mouse button pressed, pan and see it. So, this is little the yellow is peaking here. So, what I have to now do is I have to come to the top view, press G and slightly move it to the forward, so that yellow is not popping up. So, now we have the two eyes ready. Now, after this we need a belt across this eye. So, for this I will press Shift A, and in mesh I am going to create a torus, and this torus I am going to make its major radius 1 and minimum radius also I will increase it like this, and I will make it around 0.2, and then I will press G, Z and move it to the top like this, so that it is on the top. And after moving it to the top, what I will do is I will then if required press scale, and along the Z I will scale it a little, and then I will press S and I will scale the overall shape a little, so that it just fits the body. I will come to the top view and I will press G and I will slightly move it to the back like this, so that it is just touching the eyes like this, and then I will select this and I will give it the material as black. So, we have this eyes ready. So, after we make the eyes ready, I will come one. Let us add a demi hand and legs. So, for this I am going to press Shift A and I am going to create now a cone, and in this cone I am going to make its radius 1 to around 0.4 unit, and radius 2 I will make it 0.2 unit, and then I will rotate it along the I think y axis 180 degree, see it reversed, and then I will set its depth to around 0.5, or I will make it 1, and I will then if required I will make radius 1.3, I will make it slightly smaller, and then I will press G and Z and pull it out, and I will give it the material black. We forgot to name this eye strip, and let us select this eye strip that we created. This eye strip, where is it? It has gone into I001 group. See, it is inside the I001 group. I will name it as eye strap, and I will drag this and put it into the body, so that eye strap is inside the body. And then I will select this leg, and again this leg is also created inside this I001 folder. I will name this as leg 1, and I am going to drag it and put it into the main scene collection, so that it is in the main scene collection. I will close I001, and this leg 1 I will press G and along the X move it to the left. Okay. Then I am now want another leg piece, and so for that what I will do is I will press 3 and come to side view. I will select this piece and then I will press Shift D and move it. I am going to call this as foot 1, and I am going to select this foot 1, press R, and along the x axis I will rotate it by 90. I will just type 90 and rotate it, then press G and place it over here. And only thing is here I will press S and Z, and along the Z axis I will scale it and make it flat, and I will reduce the Z scale to around 0.1. Now, I will come to the top view, press 7 here, come to the top. I will bring the mouse over this area, press 7 to come to the top view. Let us switch off body, and we are seeing the leg here. I will press R and add Z along the Z axis. I will rotate it a little, then press G and move it and place it like this. So, now the leg is ready. So, now what I will do is, in the scene collection I will create a new collection and I am going to call this collection as leg, and inside this leg I will select foot 1 with shift press, select leg 1, drag both and put it into this leg. Now, I will switch on the body. So, you have one leg there. I will select the leg, I will select duplicate collection. I have one more collection of leg here. I will select this and I will choose select objects. Then come to the top view in 7, press 7 and come to top view, press G and X and move it to the left like this, and then R and Z and rotate it so that this leg is turned to the left hand side. So, if I shift middle mouse and rotate it, you can see the two legs. So, this is a very simple model that we created only by using the primitive. I request you as a challenge to create two hands here. But before that, let us go to File, choose Save As. So, in my lesson folders or in the folder where you are saving all your files, I will give it the name as 3_minions and I will save it. So, the next job is you have to create the hands, and that is a challenge for you. What we want you to create is these two hands. See, one hand with, we have made use of 3 cones to create the hands here, and the same hand is placed here, and you can see we have created it as 2 collections. So, kindly try to do this and complete it, and let us see how to solve this challenge in our next session. Thank you.